Hey everybody, this is the Aggressively Medium podcast with Lee and Josh.
Welcome back to episode 38 of the Aggressively Medium podcast. Lee is not here today.
No jokes about Lee today.
No jokes about Lee. We literally can't say anything about Lee.
Hey Lee, I love you, and I'm not going to make fun of you today.
You're a
okay?
good guy, man.
He's probably turning the podcast off right now.
Yes. He's like, we can't make fun of, and then he just clicked it off.
He's like, these guys are jerks. Hey, no, Lee, I love you, man.
Yeah, you're a good guy sometimes.
If I didn't make fun of you, it's because I didn't like you.
Yeah,
that's what people used to tell me.
Yeah, well, that's because your mom wanted to make you feel better. Yeah.
Well, it's 7 in the morning.
Gosh,
no, it's actually 9 now.
This is close to 8.
It's 8:49. 8:49 on the dot.
This is the earliest I've ever done one of these things. But
we got up at 7 a.m. to do this podcast.
Yeah, well,
Josh
I got up earlier than that.
Be here at 8, and at 8:49 we're starting the podcast.
Well, you got to figure out what you're going to talk about and stuff, and.
Yeah, there's the prep, guys, behind the scenes. About 5 minutes before this, he starts writing down in the notes what we're going to talk about.
Well, I had stuff with the notes with me and Lee, but you're different. I got to talk about different things with you.
Right. You have to talk about more intellectual things with me, things that really get the brain going.
Yeah, if that's what you want to think.
And normally, I really don't wake up. My body will wake up at 6:30, but mentally I don't wake up till about 10:30. So
mentally you don't wake up till you're in your 30s. Is that what you said?
No, 10 or 10:30 a.m. Probably 30 though.
Yeah,
I'll probably
say I've seen you after 10:30, and I don't think it gets much better. So.
No, I have peak mental capacity from about 10:30 to I'd say 1:30, and then it starts going back downhill. And then I'll hit a second wind around 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Does that does that do well for you with your food truck?
I mean, yes and no. I'm spectacular during those times. Yeah. I can come up with cures to cancer and everything.
I doubt that.
But in the afternoons and early mornings.
Lee has come in contact with somebody that had it, and so just as a precaution, he's out this week. So maybe next week he'll be back. If you listen to the podcast every week. But yeah, so Lee's out, and
I'm honored to be here. We called in
the C team.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how many episodes have you been on? Is this the 4th episode?
I think this is the 4th episode. I don't know how I keep coming back, but I do.
You have nothing else to do during the day.
You texted me last night. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, why not? I also on my Spotify Wrapped, this was my, I think, 3rd or 4th most listened podcast.
3rd,
most listened podcast.
You had Logan Paul above us, which I don't like him at all.
He's got a good podcast though. I'm telling you, give it a chance. Did you see his brother Jake Paul whip Nate Robinson in a boxing match?
Yeah.
That was crazy. I watched it on somebody on YouTube was recording it on their iPhone. Mm-hmm. They had a laptop set up, and then they had via YouTube. They had their phone recording it off their laptop screen. And so I watched it that way.
I didn't get to watch that fight live, but I did see the Mike Tyson fight live.
See, I didn't even watch the Mike Tyson fight.
It was horrible.
I had no interest in it. I read an article before that they said it was basically going to be a sparring exhibition.
Yeah, but I mean, they were hitting each other pretty good.
Yeah.
But then at the end of it, clearly Mike Tyson was the winner.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It was a draw. It was a tie.
Yeah. Crazy. Boxing's rigged.
They were both like, hey, you did good, man.
Yeah.
You did good out there.
Did you read that Mike Tyson apparently was super high the whole time?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, he owns a weed farm.
Yeah.
Weed resort, apparently.
I mean,
cannabis resort.
I guess the upside to that, the only upside that I could see, well, obviously it would make you more calm, but then also pain tolerance, you would have a way higher pain tolerance. And so even if you broke your hand, you could just keep punching somebody.
Like how I broke my hand last night.
Yeah, like how you broke. If you were high, you'd be all right now.
I know. Maybe I should go have
Sorry,
a
let me
meeting
rephrase
with the
that.
ganja
If you
gods.
were more high.
Oh, yeah. Someone asked me last week if I was high. It was funny. We'll get into that story later, though. But, yeah, they also said, Mike Tyson said he wants to do a fight every 2 months now.
Mike Tyson wants to fight every 2 months
because they raise so much money for charity. Him and Roy
charity.
Jones Jr. apparently donated all their earnings to charity.
Yeah.
And they said they want to keep doing stuff like that. But I feel like after like the second or third fight like that, people aren't gonna be tuning in.
Yeah, probably not.
Like about two old guys fighting.
Well,
like,
but you also had other fights on the card. It was just like
I think Jake Paul and Nate Robinson probably brought in most of the viewers of that fight.
probably so.
Like
I
that
thought
was
I thought it was
insane.
Logan Paul that fought.
No, it's Jake.
Is Jake?
Yeah,
So Jake's the older or younger?
Jake's the younger brother.
Jake's
They're both boxers, but
Okay.
and then like Jake called out Conor McGregor and like Dylan. I think Dylan Dan is his name, but yeah, he wants to fight Conor McGregor and stuff like that. Which I mean,
he's gonna get
he looked
mutilated.
good out there, though.
But he was fighting somebody who has zero boxing experience.
he would get smacked by Conor McGregor.
It's gonna be like celebrity death match by the end of it. Like
Yeah.
all
that's
those
the
fights.
thing is like a ton of celebrities are like seeing like Jake Paul calling people out and they're like responding, and like Logan Paul, his ex-girlfriend's dad, Jose Canseco, a baseball player, called him out, and like they want to do a boxing match too now.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, they make a ton of money.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake Paul and Nate Robinson both
If they were
made $600,000 just for showing up.
if they were good fights, like if it was like my thing is okay, cool. You got these celebrities that are going in, but if neither one of them know how to box and they just get in there and they get tired after like one round,
Yeah.
and then they're just like not even like they're pulling punches and stuff. Like I don't want to watch that.
Yeah. Well, Jake Paul, I mean, him and Logan both like go through like fight camps.
Yeah.
And they do like legit training. So you don't want to be like Nate Robinson. And I think they showed the world like if you're gonna fight them, you don't just like show up like Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
did. You can't just
unless
be an
you're a professional
athlete.
boxer
Yeah.
who could actually like probably mop the floor with either
Yeah.
one of them.
I'm sure like an actual professional probably would.
Yeah, like Deontay Wilder.
Oh, he would knock him out. But he's also
Exactly.
got what's Deontay's weight? Like
I mean, he's a
200
he's
or
a
something?
heavyweight. So
yeah, I don't know. He'd knock anybody out with one punch.
yeah.
It'd be tough.
Speaking of sports stories, you have a golf story.
Oh yeah. So I went home last Tuesday for the week of Thanksgiving. That Tuesday, I went back to Coleman for the week. So I stayed through the weekend and everything. Did some good family stuff. Hung out with them a lot. Went fishing. The good old Coleman things. And I wanted to play a round of golf. And I normally always go with my brother and his friends, and they're pretty good. So it's real competitive and it's fun. Well, none of them could go last week. So I have another friend, and we'll just say his name is Jay. And so he's been texting me for literally months about going and playing golf. But I've known him for a while, and I've never known him to be an athlete or anything close to it.
Yeah.
And so I've always just thought, it probably would be miserable on a golf course with him. Well, finally I'm like, I have no other option. So I'll go play
I
golf
have
with
no
him.
other option.
He's texting me all week. He's saying him and his brother and another friend that I know all want to go play. They want to go play 2-man scramble on a Saturday morning at 7:30. So I asked him, like, what do y'all normally shoot when y'all play? And they're like, in the 80s. So if you're shooting scramble in the 80s, like, you're not very good, but you're good enough that, you're going to be able to get through 18 holes. You're going to keep things in the fairway, that kind of stuff. I shoot 80 in the 80s by myself, which basically means I can get up on the green in 2 or 3 shots, but then I'm going to 2 or 3 putt like every time and bogey like every hole. But anyway, so I finally like, okay, I'll do it. So we show up to this golf course in Coleman. And it's a pretty strict golf course. Like me and my brother, we've gotten in trouble there many times for like not abiding by, the 90-degree rule or cart path only. One of my buddies was actually on like a list because he golfed with another guy that didn't have clubs. And like that's like a huge rule on this golf course is like you can't share clubs.
That seems ridiculous.
I mean, if you're playing like individual, like you shouldn't share clubs because it's going to take longer. But and you can rent clubs from the clubhouse. So if you don't have clubs, you need to rent them and like be respectful to the business, basically, you know. But we get there, and first off, all of them are wearing like, and you don't have to, like in high school we'd go to this course and we'd wear like shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah.
But they all have like tennis shoes on, like blue jeans, t-shirt. Like I'm telling you, like straight leg blue jeans. And I'm just like, this is a tough look out here. And we're going to be out there with a bunch of old dudes.
Yeah.
You know how it is on early morning Saturdays.
Yeah.
So then we get in a golf cart. Jay and his brother get in one. They're going to be on a team, and me and this other guy's going to be on a team. Well, that guy gets in my cart, and he don't have a single thing with him. And so I'm like, hey, man, where are your clubs? And he goes, well, I normally just borrow whoever I'm with. I'm like, oh, so you don't have any clubs? And he's like, no, I don't. I was like, okay. So first thought I'm thinking is, if he don't have any clubs, he's probably pretty bad at golf.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the guy that had texted you, and you were like, this guy's my last resort? Or
this is his friend that I also am friends with. He's a funny guy. They're all funny people. Yeah. So that's why I was like, hey, at least it'll be a funny time. Well, we go into hole one, and I start thinking, I ask this guy, I go, dude, do you have any balls? And he goes, no. I said, well, what about tees? And he goes, no. I was like, oh my God. So now I've got to share my balls with him and tees. So long story short, he lost 5 balls through 5 holes.
Oh my gosh.
I only say through 5 holes because after the first hole that took 15 minutes to finish, I had decided in my head, you know what? I'm going to play 9 and I'm done. Because we're already backing people up. Like, we don't need to be out here for 18. And, like, because we're hitting balls all over the place. It's kind of embarrassing. So we get going, and we get on hole 5. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it had rained, like, pretty heavily that Friday. And it's 90-degree rule, and they weren't really abiding by it at all. And, well, one of their balls was in like a lowered area. Mm-hmm. And so Jay decides to just yeet his golf cart off into this area. Well, it just immediately sinks into about 6 inches of mud. That's so I'm just looking at him. I'm just like, are you serious? And so he's slinging mud everywhere. The golf cart's covered in mud. And at this point, we've backed. There are 3 groups behind us waiting for us.
They probably already called to the front.
They're yelling at us. Like, one guy finally comes down to me, and he's like, because me and this other guy, we're just kind of watching old Jay over there.
Unfold.
And we're just like, I'm just like trying to decide what to do. I had like, it's so crazy. But so we finally go help them out of the mud. And at this point, Jay has mud on his face, on his clothes, on the golf cart.
As you do when you go golfing.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, everyone in the world's going to know what we did. So we let the 3 groups go through and play. Every time they pass us, they all had something to say. Yeah. And I'm just like there with my hat like low. I'm like, don't no one know who I am, that kind of thing. Well, I told them, like, they just thought it was funny that, like, they got stuck in the mud. And I was like, guys, like, they'll kick you off this course for less than that. Yeah. And so then the very next hole, hole 6, we all tee off. And I'm like, I'm just going to get through 9 holes and I'm out of here. We all tee off. And then I get in the car and start moving about 10 feet. And Jay goes, wait. We're going to hit one more. And I'm like, oh, gosh, we're already holding people up again. Like, just go play your ball. Well, he tees off and he hits a ball about 100 miles per hour into the hubcap of the golf cart and shatters it. I'm talking, it literally exploded. So at this point, I like look down at the hubcap, look at them, I say, I'm out of here. And I drive from hole 5 all the way to my truck. And I tell the guy that was with me, I was like, I don't know what you're going to do. I was like, you don't have any clubs? I would advise you just go home. I was like, I'm out of here. And I threw my clubs in the car and I drove home. And I got home at like 9 in the morning, 9 or 9:30. It was nonsense.
Honestly, I wish that professional golf was like that. I'd probably watch professional golf if people were just getting like carts stuck and like.
Oh no, it was so embarrassing because you're out there with like all these old guys that they basically run those courses, and like my theory was I'm gonna get out of here before they can know that I was with them.
Yeah.
And I told them all too. I was like, y'all need to leave. I was like, we didn't even make it through 6 holes, and we've already destroyed a hubcap, got a cart completely covered in mud. Like, I was just thinking, what are we gonna do through the next 13 holes?
I can't even imagine, man. That would be
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
I would get so embarrassed. Yeah,
that's the thing.
That secondhand embarrassment, or like I'm just with these guys.
Because like every time you go to that course specifically, there's always that group that you see, and you're just like, what a bunch of idiots. And we were that group this time.
Yeah, that was me in high school. We would go to the local golf course in Demopolis, and I had like clubs that I'd gotten at a thrift store. Yeah. And then like it's like a Shelton State like bag, and it's like green. It's just like this god awful color, and it says Shelton State in like yellow letters down the side of it.
Funny.
And well, we'd get golf carts stuck all the time, or like flip one.
That's like the time I had been before. I went with my brother, just like the time I was home before Thanksgiving, and we saw the group behind us. It was a bunch of dudes, and they got a cart stuck. And then, like, by the time we got to hole 9, we like stopped at the clubhouse, and the guys that were working it were like, "Y'all see those idiots get that golf cart stuck? Blah blah blah. Like, we're gonna chew them out when they come around the corner." I'm like, "That's gonna be us." But there's like a time where you just need to go to a driving range before you get on a golf course, especially, or if you're gonna go play and you're not very good, go in like afternoon, not in the morning with the people that are like
really good.
Yeah, they're like betting on holes, and which I'm not like super good either, but I'm decent enough to keep it in the fairway and keep a good pace of play where like I'm not making people mad.
So there's a thing that is talked about a lot in regards to you, or in regards to like when you're on the podcast, is your level of intelligence.
Right.
So
I wonder what the listeners think when they hear me. Like, I wonder if they're ever like, this guy sounds smarter, he's like super dumb, and we understand what Josh and Lee are saying.
I would imagine it's not the first thing, but we're going to put your knowledge to the test today.
Hey, bring it on.
Okay.
I told you that I can handle some trivia.
Yeah, we're going to do, this is like common knowledge that every third grader should know.
All right.
So we're going with third grade. So it's like, should be like softball questions.
You want to know a fun fact about me?
What?
When I was in
you
fourth
failed
grade,
the third grade?
No, I got held back in kindergarten, but I couldn't read till I was in first grade. But in fourth grade, my teacher actually sent in an application for me to be on the show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I'm not even kidding.
So what happened between now and then?
Well, the 90s, man. They hit me hard.
Okay.
Actually, I guess the 2000s.
So, first question.
All right.
Is Riley smarter than a third grader?
Yes.
In 1979, who became the first woman to be featured on U.S. currency? Susan B. Anthony, Martha Washington, Sacagawea, or Queen Isabella of Spain?
That's easy. Susan B. Anthony.
You are correct.
Yeah, get out of here with those softball questions.
Okay. Laura gets paid $4 per hour to babysit her little brother.
Oh, no, math.
If she babysits from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., how much money will she make?
She'd make $4 an hour?
$4 an hour.
$20.
That's correct. All right. Which of these U.S. states was one of the original 13 colonies?
Okay.
Ohio, Alabama, North Carolina.
North Carolina, final answer.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe I am smarter than a third grader.
I wonder if we should bump it up to fifth grade. Let's bump it up to fifth grade.
I'm telling you, dude. I've been telling you for so long. I'm way smarter than y'all giving me credit for. So many other people see it. I guess they don't know the real me, though.
Yeah, that's probably true. That probably has a lot to do with it.
Like, I'm really smart. I just like to have a good time.
All right. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Where's this coming from? A website that's
BuzzFeed.
like BuzzFeed.
Okay. If a car is traveling 40 miles per hour,
Okay.
how long will it take it to go 190 miles?
$190
Let's go
at
at 40
miles an hour.
Yeah. So you should take 190 and divide it by 40.
Right. So I'm trying to do that in my head. So I know 4 times 40 is 160.
Okay.
And then 30 of 40 is over 3/4. So 4, I'd say 4.8 hours.
So you've got 3 hours and 30 minutes, 3 hours and 15 minutes, 4 hours and 15 minutes, or 4 hours and 45 minutes.
4 hours and 45 minutes.
That's correct.
Let's go.
True or false? The following picture is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
False. That's a Stegosaurus.
That's the most Stegosaurus
That's a Stegosaurus
picture I've ever
man.
seen.
But dinosaurs aren't real, so how are we?
How many
How are we supposed
nouns
to know that?
are in the following sentence?
Nouns?
Yeah, nouns.
Okay, yeah. Person, place, thing, or idea.
The rabbit ran to the cafeteria and ate a big salad.
I believe there's 3 nouns: rabbit, cafeteria, and salad.
Correct. Okay.
You're really trying to get me to miss something.
I'm just reading the questions over here. What unit of measurement is abbreviated OZ?
Ounce.
Yeah.
Dude, I deal with ounces every day.
True
on a
or
smoothie
false?
truck.
The human shoulder is a ball and socket joint.
True, yeah.
These are like super easy questions.
Well,
though.
it's questions for a 5th grader.
Which one of these is a mammal? A seahorse, a sea lion, or a sea urchin?
Ooh, it's not sea urchin. A mammal gives live birth. It's a seahorse gives live birth, but I don't know if you would classify as a fish or not.
It's a mammal. It has to be a mammal.
A sea lion, I would assume, gives live birth, but I feel like that's a trick question. I feel like my gut says seahorse, but I'm going to go with sea lion.
Correct.
Never trust your gut.
Which continent is the least populated?
Antarctica. Don't even read them off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct. Since the late Since the late 1930s, what calendar date has been designated for the inauguration of the president of
January
the United
21st.
Wrong.
No, January 20th.
Well, you already answered wrong.
No.
You answered wrong already.
Bro. Okay, well, I'm obviously smarter than a 3rd grader and a 5th grader.
In the initials of the federal agency known as NASA, what does the first A stand for?
Air.
Do you want me to read all of the answers before you say something that's not on the answers?
Go ahead.
American, Association, Administration, Aeronautics.
It's either administrative or aeronautics. I think it's aeronautics.
Correct.
Yeah.
The revolutionary what revolutionary leader wrote the influential Common Sense in 1776?
I believe that's Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, again, you should probably wait until I say all of the answers because that answer's not even on here.
Okay, let's hear
John Locke, Thomas Paine, John Adams, or Abraham Lincoln?
Thomas Paine.
Correct.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you what he even looks like.
What was the name of the first satellite pulled into orbit by the United States? Explorer, Mercury, Titan, or Apollo? Satellite.
I don't really
first
know that
satellite.
Apollo were a bunch of missions. I don't think it's Mercury. I don't think it's Titan. I feel like Titan is like a Mars thing or something like that. What was the other option besides Mercury and Titan?
Explorer.
That sounds about right. Apollo though. Apollo were moon missions, right? I'm gonna go with Explorer.
Okay. Correct.
Look
Bonus
at that
question.
Deductive reasoning or whatever.
Bonus question number 1. What ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu
The
complex?
Mayans. No, the Incans.
Correct. Bonus question number 2. What species can live on both land and water? Arthropods, birds, amphibians, or fish?
The first thing that came to my mind was herbivores, but I remember they eat meat and grass. So I'm going to go with amphibians.
Well, you're correct. You
Yeah.
are as smart as a 5th grader.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Any of you betting against me, y'all can just
I would have
pay
been
the
betting
piper.
against you until I started reading the questions, and I was like, most of these are pretty like softball.
Yeah, well,
Again, even at
coulda
5th
better.
grade level.
I bet I could have beat you though if it was timed and we had like buzzers and stuff.
Probably
I did
not.
Scholars Bowl and like
Well, I did Bible quiz,
school.
so
well, who betrayed Jesus?
me and you.
That's deep.
Oh,
That's deep, and that's not the answer we were looking
Suck
for.
it.
The answer we were looking for was Judas.
But I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Speaking of softball questions,
Yeah.
how about Vandy
Oh yeah.
the other weekend, last
Yeah.
weekend?
Just letting the women's
Yeah.
soccer player on the team.
From what I understood of what had happened was what was the girl's name?
Sarah Fuller.
Sarah Fuller. From what I understood was everybody was out with COVID.
Yeah.
And they needed a kicker. And they were like, let's pull somebody from a soccer team.
They needed a D1 scholarship athlete to play the game, or they were going to have to forfeit. They had to have 53 scholarship athletes.
And so they pulled from, and she made a bomb 20-yard kick.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing too is they realized that they might not get even close to the end zone to kick a field goal, so they let her kick off the second half, and they were right. They lost 31-0.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Okay, you can let women play men's sports or with men, but you're gonna get someone hurt doing that. Like,
To a degree, I agree with you. If it's football,
you're
Yeah.
gonna get hurt.
yeah.
Like, I mean, just imagine. Let's just go back a few years and say Sarah Fuller, gets hit by like a Derrick Henry or Najee Harris or anyone. Like, they're gonna hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Or even like on kickoff, if someone breaks away the return and gets to the kicker,
yeah.
like she's
I would
gonna
imagine
she's gonna get
she's
popped.
not gonna. I would imagine she's not gonna. If somebody nabs that ball and starts running back towards her, she's gonna stay away from what's going on.
I don't know. She's from what I was reading about her, she's very competitive and like has a really good
But
competitive.
competitive versus common sense,
stuff.
like
Yeah. Well, what's crazy about it all is at halftime they let her address the team and give like a halftime
gosh.
speech, and after that, so Vandy plays Georgia this weekend, and I just read an article last night that there's rumors circulating that Vandy's
she'll be quarterback.
well, she's traveling to Athens with the team.
Oh, okay.
But apparently a bunch of the other players are deciding to not travel with the team because they saw it as
Don't like women.
well, yeah, they hate women over there in Nashville, but they saw it as just a PR thing, PR stunt,
Yeah.
and they don't want to. They literally are like, there's apparently rumors of players just saying they're not going to be part of it, and they're opting out of this last game for them.
Well, I mean, it kind of, for the most part, probably was a PR stunt. Think about how many
Absolutely.
more qualified. Like, I mean, the men's soccer team. They could have pulled somebody from the men's soccer team.
The SEC doesn't have a official men's soccer.
But they do have an official women's soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's club soccer,
Yeah.
but you could have pulled from. You could
How
have
many
pulled from
like
anything.
baseball players or football
Right.
or basketball
Well,
players
I was
also played
reading
football
too-
in high school?
I was reading too that the kicker from last year's season for Vandy, he's in med school right now, and he has a year left of eligibility.
Oh,
so they
so
were
they coulda pulled
saying
him.
that. Yeah, they said that he's more than likely traveling with the team to Georgia. So you could have done it last week.
Oh, it definitely was a publicity stunt. And
Yeah.
to hear her talk after the game where she was like, all those little girls out there. You can do whatever you just put your mind. It's like you didn't even want to do this.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't a goal of yours that you set out.
Like, you're gonna.
It's just like they were like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" She's like, "Oh, nothing."
That is
come
funny.
Kick?
Just like how they spin everything, like, and what even is the goal for like are there little girls out there that are wanting to play men's football?
There are.
I know a girl in lingerie football league. I met her.
It's not the
out
same
in
thing.
LA. Those girls are serious.
Yeah, but
they like hit each other hard.
Again, put her up against like Derrick Henry,
Right?
Or,
it would be bad news.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's goofy. More power to him. The head coach of Vandy got fired Sunday
after last week's game.
Yeah, he got fired
for putting in a girl. Or
I think that it was part of. Well, they're terrible.
Yeah,
but he's a good coach though. He'll land somewhere else. But they're terrible, and I don't know. I think the players just really didn't.
Yeah.
Apparently, they really didn't respond well. To. I mean, imagine being like a junior or senior on the team and you've never gotten to address the team at halftime or something like that. And then,
or you never think about the guys who are like on the backup squad that never get play time. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, like everybody's got COVID. I finally get my shot. Nope. You don't get your shot.
It's insane. Yeah.
You don't get your shot.
It's wild. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Have
you ever seen your neighbors bring in groceries?
This one over here has a closed in garage.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, that's convenient.
This lady over here is like 1,000 years old. So no.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever seen your neighbors bring in groceries?
No.
Isn't that a little
suspect?
Weird? Yeah. But isn't it just a little weird that like I can't think of a single time in my life where I've seen my neighbors bring in groceries. And I read a tweet last night that someone put out that was just like, if life was real, why haven't we seen our neighbors bringing in groceries? And it got me thinking. And I'm like, I've literally never seen
if life was real.
Yeah, you know how like there's the whole simulation talk. Like, how do I know that you're real, Josh?
I mean,
like, what if you're a simulation in my simulation?
I mean,
dude,
yeah, maybe.
I'm just saying, like that is weird to think about. Something so simple as that.
I'm never sure seen that. Here's another
seen
part
my
of
mom
that.
bringing groceries.
I'm sure that those people. I mean, think about how many times do you go to the grocery store a week?
Once, probably. Okay.
How many times do you see your neighbors outside in a week?
Well, now living in a college town, like especially where I live now, I feel like I'd seen them because we live in the townhouses that are all so close together.
Okay, but like roughly how many times per week would you say?
Maybe 2 or 3 times. Walking to their cars or something like that.
A week.
Yeah.
So,
but here's the
based
thing too.
on you seeing your neighbors 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And they only go to the grocery store probably once every week or once every 2 weeks. If you're only seeing them 3 times out of a whole week and they're only going on one day, like statistically, I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not weird because I agree.
Yeah,
it's a little weird because
it's definitely sus, man.
It's definitely sus.
Like
freaking.
And here's the thing too: is like during the school year with blends, like. When we're not working the truck, like I'm just sitting at the house, like working. And where my house is like I've got a window right by my desk. So like when I'm working on the computer and stuff, I'm looking out the window, and I've not once have I seen anyone bring in groceries.
Yeah.
What are they eating?
Well,
they're not.
They're not eating.
They're not real. Well, I did see you eat 2 Pop-Tarts before we got started, so I guess you're real.
That is true. I did eat 2 Pop-Tarts because I was hungry.
Yeah. Y'all think about that, though. I mean, there's probably some other weird things out there that is just so simple that you don't see other people doing, and you're just like...
Yeah. I'll tell you what's weird to me.
Yeah.
Is Ellen Page.
Oh, yeah.
The actress.
She's been talking about... You got a crush on her?
Yeah.
Or
big crush.
Whatever
So Ellen Page just came out this week as a trans person.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ellen Page is like super liberal, obviously.
Yeah.
She was like, I think last year, the year before or something, came out as homosexual. And now she's coming out as trans. And she was like getting on Chris Pratt earlier this year too about like, you know, how can people be behind you when like the church that you go to is all about hate and all this other stuff. Talking about the fact that most churches are against homosexuality.
Yeah.
So she's like been in the news a lot this year, like from coming out to getting on Chris Pratt. Now she's trans. But she plays in the TV show The Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
So when you say so is she, because I just pulled her up on Google and I recognize her now I remember her in the movie Juno.
Yep. She was in Juno, pregnant.
Yeah. So she's a girl and she's wanting to transform into a boy, I guess.
Well, she is
like, she was a boy and now she's a girl.
She's a girl and she's considering herself now a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's transsexual.
Interesting. Is she wanting to get the surgeries done and stuff?
I haven't read that far into it, but she has changed her name from Ellen Page to Elliot Page. Which is also weird to me that like all these people who are celebrities that come out as trans always have to change their name. Like, so you're assigning a gender to a name.
Yeah.
But like...
Right.
So like, oh, there's gender specific names all of a sudden, but there's not gender specific people.
Right.
Because like,
isn't that funny?
You're not inherently a man because you were born with a penis.
Your DNA,
but
it has
the
nothing
word
to do
Elliot
with your
is.
gender.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's just your mindset.
But she plays a girl on Umbrella Academy, a woman.
Yeah.
And she will continue to play a woman on the Umbrella Academy.
Well, until they take the opportunity to make a social impact and
probably
change her character.
But everybody's talking, like when she first came out, everybody was like, what's going to happen to her character?
Yeah.
And then all these celebrities were like, well, she can still play a girl. There's nothing bad about a trans person playing a girl.
Well,
but on the other side of things, this week also, James Corden, who's got the late night show, was on a Netflix movie coming out called Prom, where he plays a gay man as a straight man.
Yeah.
And people are up in arms right now.
Why can't you find a gay man to play the part?
Exactly. They're like, he can't play this part because he's straight. Like, think about all the gay people in Hollywood. It's like, okay, so a woman or a man can now play a woman's role because she has transitioned into a man.
Yeah.
And her actor or her character on the show is a woman. So she can play a woman.
Yeah. So if you want to be like their thought process, now a man is playing a woman character.
Yeah. Which is fine. We're cool with that.
But if you, as Josh Julian, would play a woman character.
Oh, gosh. That'd been like,
the world would
forget you,
explode.
dude. Yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy to me the difference in how you treat people based on like, I guess just how you feel of it. Like,
well, that's like their people over there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but James
Corden support how brave she is.
But James Corden, I feel like would be one of those people that they were like,
yeah,
he does like the carpool karaoke stuff.
Yeah.
He's, he is more of a flamboyant male.
James, though, he'll shock you because I think he's got it more together than people realize. Like, he's got kids and a wife and like a whole family, and he might be one of those Republicans out there in California. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think that he is.
Probably not.
But like they did say, and I haven't seen the show because it hasn't come out yet, the Prom show.
Yeah,
but they're saying like he really played up the gayness,
which easy for him.
But it's also like it's a musical.
Yeah,
and so like I think in the musical, like whoever the gay guy, the character is in the musical, if he is gay or if he isn't gay, like the actor, it's like a very like flamboyant. It's a musical. Like there's not very many musicals that aren't like over the top with whatever they're doing, and so it's like you're just like trying to find something to like
That's
be
the
upset
thing.
about.
People are just. I think we're in a day and age where people just got to be upset about something, and And now people are so scared to take an opposite side
Yeah.
to that because they'll get canceled. And you see, there's like a few celebrities that I follow on Twitter and stuff that will like take stands for more conservative things, and then they'll tweet out like, while all these people are hating on them, they're like, I've got literally hundreds of celebrities DMing me saying like, thank you for saying this.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't, like, he's like, you celebrities need to basically stand up for what you believe. And I don't know. It's annoying. It just makes me really concerned about like anything like my kids eventually, or like, it's just going to be a mess.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing going forward is like what's going to happen, like mentality wise, what's the U.S. going to look like? Because like, you know, policy, whatever, politics, whatever, but like mentalities of like, you can't be this way, or you can't act, or you're born this way. There was a really interesting quote that I saw the other day. It was somebody that was talking about like the racist thing, like you're born a racist and there's nothing you can do about it. And so you should always feel like you're a lesser person. It was so to go through this, what they say is like people of color are systemically from birth being treated down to by a white person.
Yeah.
And the only way that can happen is a white person to a black person, because a white person is in power and the black person is not in power. Therefore, you're a racist from the start, whether you want to be or not. So we take that to kids are being sexually abused by adults. Okay? It can't happen the other way around. A kid's not going to sexually abuse an adult.
Right.
So if a kid is always being sexually abused by an adult, the adult is in power. Therefore, every adult is a pedophile, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you are a pedophile and you say you're not a pedophile, then that is pedophile privilege. I mean, it's like, it's a very, like, it's a very, I mean, if you follow it back, like everything has to be like based in logic. And if you follow that logic back on that timeline, it's completely ridiculous.
The thought process out there is just insane.
Yeah.
And like you even see it with like COVID regulations. Like I was watching Alabama play basketball last night, and I was just telling my buddy, I was like, how goofy is this that they've got the bench? So the benches are just, you know, the individual chairs, and they've got each chair spaced out probably 2 feet.
Yeah.
You've got some players with masks on, some without. But even if it's spaced out, even if you've got masks on, you got 10 dudes on the court sweating all over each other, no mask, and then you got them coming over back to the bench, dapping everybody up, like breathing in their face, and then you got them going to the locker room and all sitting in there together. Like, what? It's just for TV that they're spacing that stuff out, and it's so ridiculous.
That's man. The crazy part about all this stuff is like at the end of the day, like we're not really doing anything.
Yeah,
you know, with all these regulations, with all these like, you know, it's not doing anything.
All the regulations do is hurt people's morale and hurt businesses. Yeah, like that's it. It's just an economy crusher, and it's a mentality crusher. And like we had a COVID safe Thanksgiving. Is my dad's side of the family. There's probably 15 of us there, 15 or 16. But we ate outside, and anytime we were inside, like we had masks on and all that stuff. But which was fine.
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Yeah. But
really, the only reason we did that is because my grandmother's husband is like, he's afraid of it, which I mean, he should be. He's old and frail, and if he got it, he probably would die. Yeah. But my grandmother, her name's Nina, and she couldn't care less. She's like, wants to hug you and all that stuff, and she's just like, whatever. If she gets it, she gets it. But it was nice though. It was the first time I've seen like that side of the family in like a year, so that was really good.
That is good.
And
speaking of good things, we got the college football matchup. Woohoo! Yeah, Riley's very excited because he gets to be a part of it this week.
No, I've voted every week
time?
on Instagram, and I'm normally the person that's like, y'all always talk about. And they're like, how did this get two votes? But I always have like a reasoning behind it. Honestly,
reasoning. We'll listen to your reasoning this week.
Okay, let's hear them.
When we're I don't know if I through the matchups.
I guess I did. If you posted that on Instagram the other day,
yeah, I did.
I voted on this.
So
got to tell Lee's choices too.
Lee has voted in via text message.
He's gone but not forgotten.
What I'll do is I'll say the matchup. I'll say what Lee's reasoning is, and then we'll listen to yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm the tiebreaker. Basically, I could be.
It actually could tie up this week. I think we'll weigh more heavily on the vote
of the Instagram.
If it comes down to it.
Yeah.
But some of these are going to be close, and that's what we knew going into it. The more we got into it, the closer it would get. Because the first week you've got like the Cardinals versus a Buffalo. It's like Cardinals going to lose.
Right. No shot.
But so first matchup, we have Colorado Buffaloes versus the Florida Gators. Lee says Gator kills using a sneak attack. You can't sneak out on a field. Buffalo stomps him out. So I'd like to hear your thoughts.
So he thinks the Gator wins?
No, he thinks the Buffalo wins.
Oh, but the Gator just tries a sneak attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Buffalo wins. I don't think a Gator can get a Buffalo unless it's multiple Gators, which it's not.
Yeah. Or if it was a smaller Buffalo.
Yeah.
I could see a smaller.
But this is like full-grown Buffalo.
It's a full-grown Buffalo.
We'll say full-grown Gator. Like,
yeah.
It's a Buffalo.
So in my head, I'm watching it play out is the Gator comes up to the Buffalo. Mm-hmm. The Gator latches onto the Buffalo's leg or foot or whatever, and then the Buffalo runs away.
Yeah.
And then when the Buffalo comes back, he knows I can just trample this guy.
See, this whole time y'all been doing this, I've had the vision in my head that you've got like a gladiator ring, and then on one end you've got the Gator and one end the Buffalo, and they just go at it.
It's pretty similar to that, but a football field.
Yeah. In that scenario, the Buffalo wins every day. The only scenario that could the Buffalo lose in is if it's like you're in Africa or a swamp and there's a Gator hiding in the water. Buffalo goes down.
You're on a football field.
Yeah.
And so there's
wins.
no like surprise. There's no.
Yeah.
And the people actually voted 52% Colorado, 48% Florida.
Wow.
So it's pretty close. And it's getting like all of these matchups get closer.
Hey, bring them on. Let's hear them.
Next up, we have Baylor Bears versus West Virginia Mountaineers. Lee says West Virginia wins. The Revenant man with a gun beats a bear. And this guy's like the Mountaineer. He's like a trapper. He's got like a coonskin hat and leather clothes and stuff. So like he's also got a long musket too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
So let's hear you.
Yeah, if you said gorilla, I'd say the gorilla beats the man. But it's a bear. And bears can be shot.
Yeah.
And I'm on a football field. Bears might come running at you, but he's going to pull that musket up. He's got to hit it.
Yeah.
Because, muskets takes longer to
that
reload.
Bears, if a bear... So I'm listening to a book right now called A Libertarian Walks Into a Bear.
Oh, nice.
And it's talking about... Anyway, I'll talk about it later on the podcast when I finish the book. But... essentially, there was one statistic or one thing that came out of the book that said if Usain Bolt and a bear were next to each other and Usain Bolt takes off running,
the
bear would catch up to it.
Well, yeah, I would assume.
Because it's Usain Bolt's like the fastest man on earth.
Yeah, but he's merely a man, where this is a bear.
Yeah, but it kind of blew my mind a little bit to think that a bear is that fast.
I don't know. I feel like wild animal. Like I can't outrun a dog.
Also, that musket, man, it's not like a repeating musket. It's like a one shot.
You've got that one shot, and then after that, you gotta go to a knife. Let me see the picture of the guy. Yeah, and I think the bear's dead.
You think the Bears are dead?
Yeah.
I would agree that West Virginia. I think West Virginia Mountaineers would win. The people voted 55% Baylor.
Oh wow.
And 45% West Virginia.
So where's it? Who officially moves on?
The Mountaineer.
Oh.
Because ultimately we decide. I mean, it was
your
3
podcast,
against 1. It was 3 against 1.
Yeah, true.
If it would have been like 2 on 2.
Sorry, Instagram.
Yeah, sorry, Instagram. So next up, we have USC Trojans versus Texas Tech. I guess it's Red Raiders. Is that what they are?
This was a tough one. I remember.
Texas Tech. Lee says gun beats sword.
Yeah.
Let
me see the pictures again.
I'm trying to cover up the. He's got 2 guns versus a dude on a horse with a sword.
Yeah. I can't remember what I voted for between those, but
You talking about 2 shotguns versus a guy with a horse and a sword
and a shield.
The reason that we don't use swords in combat anymore is because a gun smokes a sword.
Yeah.
A gun smokes a spear.
Well, I'm thinking he's charging with a horse. He's got a shield.
You don't think a couple of shots near that horse is like rearing back and like I'm getting the F out of here?
I feel like the horse and the Red Raider have been through things together. So I don't.
You talking about the Trojan?
Yeah, the Trojan. Yeah. I'll go with Trojan.
Okay, so Lee says Texas Tech. You say Trojan.
Yeah. The
people say Texas Tech, and I also say Texas Tech. There's no way. In my mind, if swords and horses were still a formidable foe in war, we would still be using them.
Yeah, I just see him with the shield and like running with the shield, and even if the horse goes down, he'll pick himself back up.
You don't think like a shotgun shell would go straight through a shield?
I don't know. The Red Raider, he looks like 1800s West, like Wild West Red Raider. So it doesn't. I doubt that it's like as big as caliber.
But still, even if we're talking about like Wild West was after the Trojans were around.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if swords were still a good thing, even in the Wild West, and horses, people would have been using swords against guns.
Well, the Red Raider moves on.
The Red Raider does move on. So next, we have the Presbyterian College Blue Hose, which is a Highlander. Yeah. So think, William Wallace versus UCLA Bears. Lee says bear beats man with sword.
I agree.
That's all I said.
Yeah, I'll give it to the bear this time.
I think because it is a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with it. I'm gonna have to tend to agree with that as well. As much as I don't want it to happen, because I like the Blue Hose, like I like the Highlander. I think he's pretty solid. He's fighting for his country, and his family back home. I think that's going to edge him a little bit, but at the same time, I don't see him fighting off a bear. Yeah,
you've got one jab at it with a sword, and I just think that's going to be. Yeah, this is a situation that could end up in a draw.
It could.
Like I think
this is probably the closest to hit him so far.
To hit him with
a draw,
a sword, you got to be so close that he's with the horse is within 4 feet. Not the horse, the bear.
The bear.
Bear's within 4 feet. Even if you hit its heart, it's gonna have enough
to swipe you one good time.
And he hits you in the head, your head's coming off.
Yeah. So 44% Blue Hose, 56% UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA moves on. Next we have Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights versus Missouri Tigers. Lee says Knight and Armor beats Tiger.
I love his simple. Yeah. Knight and Armor beat Tiger.
Knight Armor beat Tiger. I don't know, man. I think we forget sometimes how vicious tigers are.
They're fast.
They are fast.
I think it's the tiger all day.
You think it's a tiger all day?
I think a knight would get shredded by a tiger. I think anyone would get shredded by a tiger.
I agree.
Like if a tiger wants to kill you, I think there's no way you don't die.
Yeah.
No matter what you have on.
Like if a tiger puts your okay, cool, you've got armor. If he puts your head with an armor helmet in his mouth and crushes, he's crushing through that helmet. Like the pounds per square inch on a tiger's bite is just going to be so much more deadly, I think.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, the tigers. But unfortunately, the people online say the Red Raider, 57%, Missouri, 43%.
So it's 50-50.
Which, if the vote is weighted more, then Rutgers moves on.
But it would be mine and your vote versus Lee and the people's vote.
Yeah, but the people's vote is more weighted.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a tiebreaker, essentially.
They move on. See you later, Tiger.
So, next up, we've got Virginia Cavaliers. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Versus the Duke Blue Devils. So, Lee says Devil beats soldier on horse.
Duke Blue Devils and Virginia Cavaliers.
Yeah.
It's just, do they have a weapon?
The
Cavalier?
The Cavalier does, the Devil does not.
What does the Cavalier have?
He's got a one of those long swords, like a fencing sword, or like a sword with like a cutlass or whatever.
I think the Blue Devil gets through that one.
You think the Blue Devil gets through that one?
Yeah, he'll spear him.
He doesn't have a spear.
I mean, he's got the.
He doesn't have a trident.
Trident? Oh, no trident.
No trident.
Oh, Cavalier wins.
I agree.
Cavalier wins all day.
Cavalier wins. Devil has no trident because, and this is what we talked about a couple weeks ago. What can the Devil really do to you?
Manipulate you. He doesn't really have any like superpowers.
Yeah, he can't he couldn't throw a lightning bolt at you. If he could, okay.
Yeah.
But he can't. So, I agree. Virginia moves on. 61% of the people voted for Virginia, 39% Duke. Next up, we have Oklahoma State versus Alabama. So, Alabama is, of course, the Nittany Lions.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma State is like an old-timey cowboy type.
Picks. Wait, Nittany Lion. Where's the lion?
I said Alabama Nittany Lions, and you just went with it.
It's
the Alabama Elephants, you weirdo. You're not smarter than a fifth grader.
It just got by me.
I know.
Because honestly, I've been staring at this light for too long.
Yeah. So Alabama versus Oklahoma State.
The elephant squashes the
Lee
competition.
says Oklahoma State double rifles beat elephant. Experienced hunter can take down one with one shot.
An elephant?
An elephant. That's what he says.
I don't know what can take down an elephant, but I feel like you got to have a pretty high caliber rifle.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I feel like they don't die very easily, and that's why like ivory tusks are so hard to come by. Also because they're endangered. But
yeah, I don't think that's necessarily the reason why it's hard to come by, but that it's illegal.
Yeah,
to kill a lion for their tusks
because they were killed by all those people.
That's exactly why they're endangered.
I'll go with the shooter guy.
The shooter guy?
Yeah. What kind of? He just got pistols, BBs?
Nah. Well, he's got
or shotties.
It looks like he's got a pistola, and then he's got like a double-barreled shotgun.
Shotgun's not penetrating.
I'm going elephant.
I'm gonna go elephant too.
And the people went elephant.
Yeah.
90% went Alabama.
Oh, wow.
10%
Lee, you're so stupid.
Oklahoma State. Which there's probably is like a degree of I'm from Alabama. Like the people who are voting are like,
you see Big
Alabama.
Like, how can it go down? But I don't think that a shotgun's going to penetrate the skin of an elephant.
I don't think so either.
And yeah.
Neither will a pistol.
maybe a pistol if it's like a 45 or something. I don't know.
I think the elephant's got that.
But
all
yeah,
day.
I think he's still got to have a pretty high caliber rifle to.
Last one.
Elephants. They get attacked by lions.
Arizona State Sun Devils versus Arizona Wildcats.
This Sun Devil's got the trident.
Yeah, this Devil's got the trident.
He wins.
I agree. And Lee said Trident Devil beats Wildcat. So, and the people voted 59% Arizona State Sun Devils, 41% Arizona Wildcats. So that means that next week we will have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll have 4 matchups.
4 matchups to
So that will
decide
be
the Mascot Madness Mania.
Yep, and then we'll have 2 matchups. So that'll be, we're getting close.
And then you're at Christmas.
Yeah, we're getting close. I think we'll knock it out before Christmas.
Can we do a holiday special like Star Wars? Just come up with some really dumb things like Star Wars did.
You mean like every week?
Yeah.
Like
I guess it would just be a normal, normal podcast.
It'd just be a normal week for us. You come up with a bunch of dumb stuff to say. Yeah, that's what we do here. I don't know if you listen, or if you're more into David Dobrik and Logan Paul's podcast.
I've actually kind of stepped away from David Dobrik's podcast.
He's not doing anything.
It's
anymore,
very repetitive every week.
He's like, he hasn't put out a vlog since.
I don't think he will go back to vlogging.
I hope he does. That's the only reason I liked him.
Yeah, his vlogging was awesome, but I don't think he'll go back. He doesn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, he wants to be like an actor and like be in movies or host a TV show.
That one line
he wants to host a TV show.
Angry Birds 2.
Yeah, but that probably brought. He just has such a pull. It's insane.
Yeah,
but his vlogs are incredible.
Yeah,
but
that's why people like him.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come back.
If he didn't have vlogs,
when he does come back, that vlog's gonna have like 50 million views,
and he'll probably make like $20 off of it on YouTube or whatever.
Right. Crazy.
But yeah.
So we ain't making no money from this podcast.
Nope.
It's R-rated.
Yeah.
You said PP one time.
I did. Are you scared to say it?
I was thinking of what word I should say, honestly. I was like, do I say wee wee PP?
Penis.
Hot dog?
Penis. Anyways, thanks for coming back and co-hosting.
Yeah, anytime, man. I love coming here. I love seeing your dogs.
Yeah.
I just love just sitting down and what's it called? Shooting the bull with you?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Well, is that something that your generation just doesn't know about? Shooting the bull?
Shooting the bull. I know it. That's why I said it.
Well, you acted like it was the first time you'd ever tried to use it in a sentence.
It didn't sound right. Shooting the bull.
Yeah, that's it.
We just shooting the bull
just
out
shooting
here.
the bull.
Yeah, that's what this podcast should be called. Shooting the bull.
It was that was a close name.
Really?
Yeah, that was up there. Shooting the bull or shooting the breeze, one of the two.
Peeing in the breeze.
Peeing in the breeze. Yeah. Peeing into the wind,
which is not recommended.
Nah,
you'll get a lot of backsplash.
Yeah, bacteria.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks again.
Yeah. Hey, it's been fun. I wonder if. You think that your listeners are tired of hearing me?
Oh, probably not. They're probably more tired of hearing me. I'm here every week.
They probably just...
I'm the only person on this podcast that's been here every week.
Yeah, you're right. At Lee Decker.
Yeah.
At Lee Decker. You know, well, that's a story for another day.
Probably so. We're like an hour and 5 minutes in. So.
Yeah, I got to go to work, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody out there, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff.
Tweet it out.
And we'll see you
next
next
in. Ask a question.
Yeah, call in. We hadn't had a call in a while.
Ask these guys what's up.
Yeah. Do it.
And like, I'd honestly, somebody call in and tell the podcast if you've seen your neighbors bringing in groceries.
Yeah. If you're still listening to the podcast at this point, do it. I doubt you are, but
do it just so they know there's somebody listening this deep.
Yeah.
Anyways, fellas.
All right. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time.
Hi. Ho. Let's go.